Gerard Gordeau, the man with a UFC record that'll never be beaten. A karate national champion for 8 years, a world champion in savate, a highly decorated kickboxer, and the first man to win a UFC fight. Gerard Gordeau was a jack of all trades, whose fist of fury sent dozens to a place where time doesn't exist, and whose dirty tactics left many with permanent injuries and scars. In today's video, we look back at the career of one of the dirtiest MMA fighters of all time, known as the Undertaker from Hell. Born and raised in the Netherlands, Gerard was the second of 6 brothers. He faced the hardships of life at an early age following the death of his father when he was only 11 years old. To cater to his family needs, a young Gerard dropped out of school and started working various jobs to make as much money as he could. At the age of 16, he stumbled upon karate when he was introduced to the martial art by an Indonesian friend. Initially viewing it as a mere hobby, the notorious Dutchman's perspective shifted after facing 2 losses against a Japanese training partner. Motivated by the defeats, Gerard committed to a year of intensive training in different dojos, marking a transformative period in his martial arts journey. Thanks to the improvements he made, Gordeau went on to beat the Japanese rival he lost to twice, and soon after, he bagged a decent job as a bouncer, a profession he took up for 8 years, all while competing in various karate and martial arts tournaments in the Netherlands and beyond. He first showcased his skills at the World Open Karate Championships, and at the same time, he started expanding his training to include wrestling and boxing in his arsenal. The Dutchman's quest for versatility further led him to master Muay Thai, savate, and judo, becoming one of the most accomplished martial artists in the country. He held several prestigious titles such as Dutch Karate Champion from 1978 to 1985, European Savate Champion from 1988 to 1991, and World Savate Champion in 1992. Before turning his attention to MMA, Gerard piled up an impressive record of 27 wins and 4 losses in savate, a kick-punch sport that originated in France and is closely related to Muay Thai and kickboxing. Apart from striking battles in karate and savate, Gordeau also took part in shoot-style wrestling matches in Japan, a precursor to modern MMA where he participated in organizations like UWF and Rings. Owing to his incredible success in the world of karate and savate, Gerard was invited to compete at the UFC 1 tournament, which brought together 8 fighters from different disciplines to compete in no-holds-barred fights. Since he was known for his violent and bad boy nature, UFC 1 was the perfect opportunity for him to go out there and show the world how much of a mean machine he was. At UFC 1, Gerard Gordeau opened his account in the quarterfinals against Taylor Tooley, a much larger fighter with a background in sumo. Despite the significant weight and size difference between the two, the Dutch karate champion effortlessly handled Tooley. Gordeau quickly brought the fight to a close, dropping Taylor with a punch and sealing the victory with a head kick and right hook while he was on the mat. The referee paused the action to check on Tooley, and after the big man was deemed unable to continue, the fight was awarded to Gordeau, who stormed out of the cage like the ice-cold assassin that he was back in the day. Not only did Gordeau's win make him the first man to win a UFC fight, but also put to rest any doubts about the true no-holds-barred nature of the fights and provided a glimpse of the excitement that would define the sport in the future. In the semifinals, Gordeau battled against Kevin Rozier, against whom the Dutchman put his vicious low kicks on display. Right off the bat, Gerard blasted Rozier with a thudding leg kick. Moments later, he added another to the mix and then came a third one that hurt the most. A few seconds later, Gerard landed a flurry of lightning-fast straight punches that had Rozier going down on his knees against the cage. For the next minute or so, Gerard absolutely smashed his opponent with ground and pound to finish the fight in only 56 seconds. And once again, he walked out of the cage like he was a man on a mission to destroy everyone and prove that savate and karate were the superior martial arts. But then, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came in to feed him the humble pie. In the final of UFC 1, Gerard Gordeau faced Royce Gracie in a classic striker versus grappler showdown. In the first few minutes, Gerard landed impactful leg kicks and punches on Gracie, but the Brazilian fighter weathered the storm and managed to take the fight to the ground. Once on the ground, Gracie demonstrated his grappling dominance by working to secure submissions. Gerard used ear biting as his defense mechanism, but his dirty tactics failed against the crafty Brazilian, who won by a rear naked choke. If you watch the fight, you can see the Brazilian hold the choke a little extra long because of that ear bite. Justified in my opinion. Gordeau later explained his illegal attack, saying, "If you go down, you might as well give him something to remember you by." However, he also acknowledged that Gracie was the better fighter. The fight only lasted 1 minute and 44 seconds, highlighting the effectiveness of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the early days of the UFC. Although Gerard ultimately tapped out, he still proved to be a tough test for Gracie in the early stages of the fight, but Gracie's BJJ was simply too much to handle for Gerard and the rest of the guys the Brazilian fought. Following his loss to Gracie, Gerard competed one more time against Yuki Nakai, who unfortunately saw the demonic side of the Dutch leg crusher. At Vale Tudo, Japan in 1995, the two OGs of the fight game competed in what is still regarded as the most brutal MMA fight of all time. Nakai entered the single elimination tournament as the lightest competitor at 135 pounds, facing off against Gerard Gordeau, who had a history of rule breaking. In the first round, Nakai attempted a takedown, but Gerard used the ropes to avoid it and started cheating with blatant thumbing. The second round saw a similar pattern, and Nakai adapted by going for a heel hook on Gerard's exposed legs. However, Gordeau resorted to illegal tactics by going for a gruesome eye gouge. The Dutchman literally jammed his fingers deep into Nakai's eye socket and caused severe damage. That resulted in permanent blindness in Nakai's right eye. Yup, the Japanese star was blinded for life. Despite being gouged in the eyes multiple times, Nakai pulled off a heroic upset and submitted Gordeau with his trademark leg attack. Instead of going to the hospital for a checkup, Nakai decided to continue in the tournament and faced Rickson Gracie in the finals. The Brazilian was extremely impressed with the Japanese guts, and out of respect for his opponent, he refused to hit him in the eye and resorted to submitting him with a rear naked choke to win the tournament. And to this day, people call Gerard Gordeau the dirtiest fighter in the history of combat sports because he broke rules in an era where there were only a few. He played with the lives of fighters and didn't show any care for anybody's well-being. When asked about his eye gouges that blinded Nakai, Gerard Gordeau once said that he'd do it again if he was given the chance.
He took his eye out. You also gave interviews afterward with no regret in regards to it.
Yes. I don't care.
In 2019, however, Gordeau shared that he had a private conversation with Nakai and the Japanese fighter had accepted his apologies. According to Gordeau, Nakai no longer held any ill feelings towards him, and Gordeau commended Nakai's fighting spirit during their bout. Nevertheless, it doesn't change the fact that what Gordeau did was straight up pathetic. He was a great fighter, but I'd say he wasn't the best person. Do you think Gerard Gordeau is the dirtiest MMA fighter of all time? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thank you.